Welcome to Goodwill Industries of the Columbia. In this presentation, you'll learn where to find the information you need to handle chemicals safely. One of the most important parts of the OSHA Hazard Communication Standard is labeling. If a container is not properly labeled, you won't have the information you need to use it safely. Every chemical container should have a label containing each of the following parts, which we'll discuss in detail later in the video. Product identifier, supplier identification, precautionary statements, pictograms, signal word, hazard statements, and supplemental information. Chemicals in their original manufacturer containers are usually properly labeled, but sometimes chemicals are transferred to secondary containers, such as a spray bottle. If you put a chemical in a new container, you must ensure that container is properly labeled. Labels can be found with your safety data sheet book. If you find an unlabeled bottle, take it to your safety chair or manager on duty right away. The OSHA standard requiring product labeling has been in place for many years. However, the rules are changing for what each label should contain. This standard is not mandatory until June of 2016, so you may see a mix of different labels until then. The first required section of the label is the product identifier, which contains the specific product code and name. Sample information has been filled in here for Windex. From a user standpoint, the product code is not usually significant, but the name is obviously important so that you know what you're working with. The next section is supplier identification, containing the manufacturer's contact information. This includes the name, address, and emergency phone number of the company. The next section is precautionary statements. This very important section contains vital information for the user, such as safe handling requirements, required personal protective equipment or PPE, in this case protective gloves, instructions for putting out a fire, and first aid directions. Before using a chemical, you should always familiarize yourself with the precautionary statements. This information is key to protecting yourself from any hazards the materials may present. Hazards are indicated by pictograms and a signal word. The signal word can be either hazard or danger. Hazard indicates that the risk is less severe, and danger indicates that it is more severe. Here are some of the hazard pictograms used. The symbols correspond to the type of risk presented. The person symbol represents a variety of human health hazards. For example, exposure could cause cancer or damage to specific organs. The flame represents flammability. The exclamation mark indicates a variety of hazards, such as skin irritation, toxicity, which means the chemical is poisonous, or respiratory irritation. Gas cylinders indicate that the contents are under pressure. The corrosion symbol tells us that this chemical can cause damage to skin, eyes, or even some metals. Common corrosives include things like Drano or lye. The exploding bomb indicates that the material is potentially explosive. The flame over the circle means that the material is an oxidizer. Oxidizers combine materials with oxygen. This can show up in a variety of ways, but one common indicator of oxidization is rust. Bleach and hydrogen peroxide are common oxidizers. The tree and fish symbol represents a danger to the environment, specifically aquatic toxicity. This chemical should not enter our waterways. Finally, the skull and crossbones indicate that the material is highly toxic, poisonous enough that exposure could be fatal. This chart is also included in your quiz. Please take time to examine these symbols so that you will recognize them when you come across them in your work. Hazard statements provide more information on the risks represented by the pictograms. The first pictogram tells us that the product presents a health hazard. The hazard statement tells us that this hazard is possible liver and kidney damage. The second pictogram is for flammability. The hazard statement tells us that both the liquid and the vapors are highly flammable. Finally, supplemental information contains anything else you may need to know about a product. Some examples are directions for use, lot numbers, or expiration dates. If you should need any more information about a chemical, you can find it in the safety data sheets in your locations binder. Each safety data sheet contains 16 sections with detailed information about the material. This binder is available at all times. It is important for you to know where it is in case you have any questions. Please ask your supervisor or safety chair to show you where it is kept. Please pause the video and complete your quiz now before proceeding with the presentation. Question 1. The two signal words used in labeling are hazard and danger. Which indicates a more serious threat? Answer B. Danger indicates a more serious threat. Question 2. What section would you check to see if there's PPE, personal protective equipment such as gloves or goggles, required for this chemical? Use the sample label on your quiz as a reference. Answer B. Precautionary statements would contain information regarding PPE. Question 3. Which symbol indicates that a material is potentially explosive? Answer B. The exploding bomb indicates that a material may be explosive. Question 4. Which symbol indicates a corrosion hazard? Answer C. This pictogram shows materials causing harm to metals or skin. Question 5. The safety data sheets, formerly called MSDS, contain more information about chemicals used at your location. Where is this book located at your facility? Answer: this varies by location. Please check with your manager or safety chair to find where your book is stored.